Such a good feeling when you have been recording for the last 30 minutes and then you realize when you test the video that it has no audio because your dumbass forgot to actually turn the audio on. So you've been recording yourself for 30 minutes without doing anything and no one could hear a thing. Anyways, I'm Rian and this is me trying to show you tech stuff. Right. So in this video, we're going to talk about AI agents and the basic structure that underlies all AI agents. So this is going to cover the general skeleton of an AI agent. So regardless of which agent you're making, what the type or the purpose of the agent is, this structure will always remain the same. All right. I'll just clear out my test and then we can start again. All right, so the first thing that comes over here is a trigger. The trigger is highly dependent on the actual scenario. It depends upon what you're doing and what you want to start this automation, because AI agents are automations. So what you want to start this automation. So let's say you want this agent to work when a particular form is submitted, to analyze all the submitted information and then pass it over to, let's say, a CRM for lead management, or you wanted to create contents and post it on a regular basis, then you can use a separate trigger, which is the schedule trigger for that, if you want it to trigger on a particular time on regular intervals. So yeah, that's the trigger to go for. But the most used and the most commonly used trigger for testing is the on chat message. It's so commonly used that when I go over here and type AI agents, it's pre-configured to trigger on a chat input. So what I can do is I can just go over here and say hi, and this will pass to the AI agent. But this will return us nothing because we don't have a chat model attached to it. Right, so this takes us to the next thing, which is the chat model. The chat model is actually the brain of the agent. So that is the best way to describe it. So, and my go-to for chat models is actually Open Router. Open Router is basically a service that allows us to connect multiple models to a single gateway, and then we using the model's API key, and then we can connect that model to our N10 account, and then we can access all these models. So yeah, it gives us access to a bunch of other models as well. So yeah, there we go. So this is it. Other than this, what we need is the memory. So the memory is pretty self-explanatory. The memory is, it basically keeps a record of the conversation that's going on, or a record of the data that it has received. So once we configure memory, it is not viable for all cases. Like, let's say we want to configure like a one-time task, then we won't need a memory, because our task being performed at an interval, if they're not linked together, then we won't need a memory to get context. What it does is it basically gives the AI agent context to the previous conversation, or the previous messages, or the previous inputs that it has received. So if we set the context window to 5, what it will do is it will remember up to 5 inputs that it has received. So what it's going to do is, hi. So because we have the brain connected, which is the chat model, it's now able to talk to us. My name is Ian. So I'm going to tell it my name. Uh, Remember my name. So this is my third message. Perfect. Haha. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going beyond the window of the memory. So it has like 2 sessions stored into it. Like, So now, once this fills out, it will forget my name because the context that it has gotten will disappear. Okay, so it's giving me rundown of what we can do, eh, and I can ask it for a bunch of stuff, including solving me a math problem. So what it does is, if we go into the memory itself, we can see that it has two runs. So once this run limit reaches 5, it will forget everything that we've talked about. And this is only possible. It's keeping a record of all our conversations and all the messages that I've sent, and it's using them as context. So what I can do, if I delete this node completely, what is my name? So it completely forgets. It does not have context to what we're talking about. See, so without the memory model, it is unable to actually store the information. Even if I told it my name, it's still asking for my name because it does not have a memory to store that information in. So yeah, this is how memory works, and this is how the context actually works. So once the run limit actually reaches 5, and it has gone through like 5 cycles, it will forget everything, and it will basically clear all the references that it had. Okay, so this here is a basic chatbot in itself. I can talk to it, I can give it tasks, I can give it like simple tasks like coding, helping with editing. Right now, basically, I'm just talking to ChatGPT 4.1 mini. I can use this interface, or I can go to openai.com and select the model from there and then talk to it. It's going to be identical. Like there will be no difference at all. So what makes an AI agent good? It's the third option. It's the tools that it has access to. These tools allow the agent to perform tasks on our behalf that can accomplish things. It can, okay. So my biggest pet peeve when I started building agents, and like it was my second or third day about a year or two ago, was why this option? Like, why does it have an option to call a workflow while having access to all these tasks? Sorry, all these tools. Like, I can do a task in Asana directly from an agent. So why do I need this call to workflow tool? So the shortest answer to this is because this allows us to do complex tasks in the workflow, and then we can assign it to the agent. So when I click on this tool and attach it to the agent, it asks me to when to trigger this particular node or tool. So when should the agent call this tool? So I can tell it to call this tool whenever asked for a name, and I can attach it to a particular workflow. That's not even live yet. This is fine. So what is your name? I'm called ChatGPT. Yeah. So one sec. Yep. So the problem is that we can assign the agent when to call this tool. So the issue right now with this particular agent is it lacks the fourth and one of the most important things, which is prompting. Prompting is actually giving the agent a set of instructions. I'll define it below. I'll prompt the user message. This does is it actually tells our agent what to do. We can tell it to do a particular task in a particular way, and it will do it. But an agent is like a pretty powerful and pretty knowledgeable baby. It does not know what to do, but it has all this knowledge and all these capabilities, and we as a user have to guide it to accomplish what we want it to accomplish. So we can have it like multiple tools connected to it, but a prompt is still necessary for it to be able to do or achieve what we want it to. The cool thing about tools is that though we can have like a single memory, a single model, we can have an n number of tools attached to it. We can have MCP servers connected to it. We can have it like execute a code. We can have all of these tools connected to it, and it will call a tool based on the description described over here and based on the prompt that we give to it. Yeah, but it's still recommended to have like minimal amount of tools connected to a particular agent for it to work properly. We can have like multiple agents working simultaneously, but the amount of tools attached to a particular agent should be as minimum as possible. Yep. The cool thing about all this is an other node that is not talked about enough, but I love it. Like that is the LangChain node. The LangChain node is, let me just show you real quick, you'll understand. If I add an input over here, it has no input and no output right now. It is like a dead node. I can simply trigger it over here. It won't let me do anything. What I need to do is to actually have all of these attached to it. Like I have to configure inputs for the LangChain node. Like I'll have to enable a language model, another language model. I can have another language model. I can have like 3 language models attached to it. Then what I can do is if I do like this, language model and then memory, and then let's say it's a tool. Now both of these look identical. And if we look closely at the options that are available over here, vector store, parser, embeddings, document chain, and if I look at the output options, so the LangChain node basically has the ability to do all of these by itself. It's the parent node that is used to make AI agents. And the AI agent node is basically a simplified version of the LangChain node itself. So one sec. Let me configure this for you real quick. So if I go over here, attach this. So if you look over here, one of the major differences between the LangChain node and the AI agent node is basically that it allows us to attach multiple chat models to it, along with multiple memories and multiple tools. Like if we do over here, like we don't have an option to enable attach a chat model to the AI agent, but the LangChain node actually allows us to do so. So there is a way to attach multiple chat models to an AI agent. That is to enable this option over here, which is to enable fallback models. So we can have another model attached to it. So what it will do is it will default to the first model, and then if it fails, like we are out of credits on this particular AI agent model, sorry, LLM model, it will default to the fallback model and accomplish the task using that one. So yeah, but yeah, a LangChain model is basically a bare bones version of the AI agent itself. So we can use that to we can use this or this. AI agent is just a simplified version of the LangChain model itself. So yeah, this is the, if I just get rid of this real quick. So this is the basic structure of an AI agent. A trigger, the agent body itself, the model, the fallback model in some cases, the memory, and the tools attached to it. So yeah, no matter which AI agent we're building, no matter which automation that we're building regarding AI agents, this structure will always be there. Plus or minus the memory, depending on our use case. But yeah, so yeah, this is it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.